experience. Every week, my co-host Melissa Wallace and I will provide you with my team's unique marketing approach to selling homes and share with you our expertise in navigating the home buying process. We value the experience of our agents at Boston Connect Real Estate so much that not only will you hear my perspective on real estate topics, occasionally you will hear the expert thoughts and opinions of our experienced agents at Boston Connect Real Estate. Be a part of our roundtable. If you have any questions during the show, please call 781-837-4900. We love to talk real estate. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and wherever you like to listen to podcasts at Talk Real Estate Roundtable. If you would like a one-on-one consultation with me and my team to discuss your real estate needs, you can connect with me at bostonconnect.com or 781-826-8000. Now, sit back, relax, take good notes, and let's talk real estate. Good morning to all my South Shore neighbors. This is Sharon McNamara. You are, of course, listening to Talk Real Estate Roundtable, and I am here this morning with my sidekick, Melissa Wallace. Good morning.
Good morning.
Have you missed me?
Of course I have.
I've missed you so. Yes, it seems like it's been a couple weeks since I've been here. So, yeah, it's nice to be back in the comfy seat here. And we have Tim McKinney in the house over there at WATD in Marshfield. Good morning, Tim.
Good morning, Sharon. Welcome back.
Well, thank you so much. Yeah, I haven't really been far, but, I've been around. But, hey, and I also have to give, total, kudos to the man, Tim, that when I was remote on the boat a couple weeks ago. And I was
remote on the boat.
I was like, they can't hear me, but whatever. And you figured it out. So, hey,
of course
that was
he did.
great. Yeah, of course he did.
Of course he did.
I always have a plan B up my sleeve.
And C and D with us,
Yeah.
right?
Right, yes.
Yeah, in case Sharon's laying on the floor again. I don't feel well. Okay, we got to scramble for a second.
Yeah.
Let's not do that again.
Yeah, let's not do that again. That was a weird morning, but so here we are. It's, you know what? I can't believe it's the end of June. It's been a very, very busy spring market for me personally with my real estate business and within the office with all of our agents. Everybody's been super, super busy.
Yeah, I feel like every week we're putting on 4 or 5 listings as a company. So, that's great. I mean, it's typically, summer can be a little bit slower than all the other seasons, but I don't think that that's the case this year.
Yeah, I think, I think that the blizzard had a lot to do with it and all that snow that we sort of started quick in January, remember? And then lo and behold, we were like, just be prepared, after the Super Bowl, that's when a spring market starts. And then Mother Nature had other plans and we got all that snow. So I feel like our spring market, what we consider our spring market, delayed a bit. And, so now we're sort of feeling that. But June I was talking to Mary about it yesterday, and June is typically the, it's the busiest month of the year, usually for closing. So that last Friday of the month is usually crazy. And I always go back to that time. It was 90 degrees. Mary and I had a snowball of 3 in a row, that were contingent upon each other closing. And we got to the first one, and lo and behold, the water main.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember that one? The water main to the condo.
Yep.
In the front, it was oil. It is all just gushing out of the ground. I was like, well, this is really fun.
We're going to have a really fun day.
Today is, and it was a Friday, right before 4th of July. Week of 4th of July. It's almost impossible to find somebody. So, but we were able to put it all together. So I always think back to that moment that it could be worse. So
it could always be worse.
It could always be worse. Yeah. And the attorneys, they're all super busy, and that's what I'm finding right now, actually, is, not only do we have a lot of closings that are happening, we also have the attorneys that are busy with all the closings, but we're still getting a lot of things under agreement. So the attorneys are they're definitely going bobbing underwater a couple times.
Yeah. And we're still seeing multiple offers. That's just the market that we're in. And there have been, I believe, 2 that I know of, deals that have fallen apart. But we had multiple offers, just buyer remorse.
Buyer remorse, yeah. Well, and that's why, we can talk about anything we want right now, because we haven't told anybody what we're talking about today. So, but the whole buyer remorse thing, I think it's really interesting with that phenomenon and that's why I don't like to rush anybody to the plate, you know what I mean? Because then I feel like that's when buyer remorse happens, you know what I mean? So I really feel like taking time, offers are due, on this day. It gives people time to think about it. It gives people time to not just go to an open house and then have to have an offer in hand, the 3 hours later. And I always say this, I can't buy a pair of shoes on Zappos in 15 minutes. In fact, I did do that the other day. I had an impulse buy with a cute pair of Tory Birch sandals. And I got them and I was like, why did I buy these? So I returned them.
Oh, yeah. At least you're good at returning. I used to yell at Mary all the time. She's not good at returning. I love a return. I did a return yesterday.
I know, you do. You're real.
I feel like I'm making money.
You've done returns for me.
Yeah. If anybody has a return out there that's been sitting in their car, I'm happy to do it for you. I love getting people their money back. I've done your returns. I've done Mary's returns because she won't do that. Yeah, it's my thing. Yes, it's my niche.
Totally not my thing. I've had stuff in the back of my car like, oh, shoot, I forgot to return that. In fact, I wore a dress the other day and I was like, oh, yeah, I forgot to return this dress. And I had bought it last year maybe at one point and it was too small.
Yeah.
But now that I've lost some weight, I was like, oh, let me see if this fits. And I was like, sure does.
There you go.
So glad I missed that return.
Yeah.
So glad I didn't tell Melissa I needed a return.
Yeah, now you have a dress that fits.
Now
so
I have a
great.
dress that fits, yeah. But with the buyer remorse thing, I do think that, take your time and, that sort of stinks for both the buyer and the seller because, and the buyers who missed out on it.
Yeah. And also, our agents are working really hard and the other agent as well. And, it's just, and sometimes you work with people for a long time. I know that one of the situations that I'm familiar with, it was other people getting involved that should have been involved in the beginning. Impulse decision, putting in an offer. And then once everybody who sort of was going to have an opinion decided to show up, that's when it sort of fell apart.
That's so interesting because I had a multiple offer situation myself this past week. And I met with them on Tuesday here in the office. And that was a very, very long day. I mean, I've been doing 12, 14-hour days. It seems like I get up at 6:30 and there I am on the computer. And then I was leaving here at 9:30 that night. But when we were going through the multiple offers, and you do a really good job of helping me with those cover sheets and the notes and everything else. And did you notice one thing on one of those was the husband had never saw the house.
Yeah.
That was a red flag. So I talked to my clients about it and I said, I think that the offer is good, but the husband hasn't seen it yet.
Yeah, which is interesting because, essentially 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days of possibly being able to either get a private showing or go to an open house.
Yeah.
But people go away on vacation. Your clients were on vacation when rapidly, getting an accepted offer and going on the market. So we understand that and we get that not everybody can show up when they're supposed to. But
how did I even know? Oh, I know how I knew about it. Mark was sitting with us. So it was the one where the father, was buying the house for their daughter. And Mark had actually met them for a private showing on Friday while our clients were still on vacation. And I just didn't feel comfortable. So we did accompanied showings. I didn't feel comfortable because, my clients didn't have a chance to put all their personal items away and things like that. So, and I didn't feel comfortable touching some of the stuff.
Except for us hiding things.
I mean, we're hiding doilies, but I don't when you go into someone's and you see their, they left on vacation, they had jewelry and they had different things out and medicine and stuff like that. And I was more afraid of I just wouldn't know if something was missing, right? So that's why we did the accompanied showings. But Mark was sitting with me that night with them going over all the offers. And he was like, oh, those are the people I met. And I was like, and he's like, the husband wasn't there. I go, what do you mean? And he goes, no, it was just the real estate agent and the girl. The husband wasn't with them, even though both the husband and wife were on the offer. So I did say to my clients, I mean, you have 6 offers we're choosing from, but that could potentially be a buyer's remorse type thing. I
Yeah.
doubt it. I mean, if the father was buying the house, but whatever.
Yeah.
I'd say I'd take whatever you give me.
Yeah. I mean,
Thank you for the house.
financially, the father was purchasing the house, but at the end of the day, not living there.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. So buyer's remorse. I already know of one. One was with Ginny. Ginny's usually listening in.
yeah.
Who was the other one with?
It was a multifamily.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a multifamily one of our agents, but had a backup offer right away.
Yeah, that's good. Well, and that's the important thing too
Yeah.
about it's how we sort of work in the background where probably things that our clients don't see or understand that we're
Yeah.
doing, that we're always sort of prepared for those moments if something should fall apart.
And also when it comes to multifamilies, like usually, it could have been the first multifamily that this person was
Yeah.
purchasing, and maybe it got a little like, oh gosh, am I going to be able to be a landlord and things like that. So there's other factors that go into that sort of situation.
We could do a show on that.
We could do a show on that. So and they had a backup offer right away, so it was all good.
Yeah. Oh, well.
It's all working out now.
I'm glad to hear that good news.
Yeah.
And everything does happen for a reason. And I say to
Yeah.
my clients, you would much rather know that this is falling apart before we get to purchase and sales agreement than
Yeah.
falling apart the week before you go to,
Yeah.
the movers are in the driveway. So, yeah.
Yeah.
All
Sorry, I just yawned.
No, that's okay.
I'm tired.
Yeah. Sleepy.
Sleepy.
So today, what are we talking about? Accepted offer to closing and what happens next?
Yeah, we say all the time we take our show from our real life here in real estate, and just some things that have happened recently that we want to sort of highlight and make sure that everyone sort of knows what the process is, and the communication of knowing, okay, what's a fixture and what stays, what goes, what's the process, and each town is actually different. And we've learned that recently with your resales of, every town, whether it's water, sewer, fire, like everybody has their own procedure.
You actually just sounded like one of the fire alarms.
What?
Fire. You could do that for like your next
Carbon monoxide. Carbon monoxide detected.
Fire.
Yeah.
I mean, fire is not a funny thing. But
No.
that's what the smoke
but
detector.
I could be a smoke detector.
You could be a smoke
I'm
detector.
smoking.
Yes, you are. So yes, and as you say, we do learn from our mistakes, and there's a lot of transition that's going on in my own personal life as well. Now, personal life, like me and Mark life, like not that type of personal life, my personal business life. So, like not being the broker, me being a real estate agent. So, Mary and I are concentrating on new construction together. So we're not so much like a team on resales, other than for certain clients that we're still working together. So, Mary and I are going through a little bit of a transition of, who's on first, who's on second, all that type of stuff, who's communicating what with who, So, yeah, I had a little bit of I guess it would be a dope slap this past week, realizing that maybe I wasn't my best self, maybe. I felt like I was doing a good job. I thought that I was being responsive, but perhaps I could be better.
Yeah, I mean, I think we could all be better at everything, and I think everybody could say that.
Because I can't make what's wrong right unless I know what's wrong, and that's the frustrating part for me. But I did have a situation, and it literally brought me to tears this week. And that hasn't happened in a very long time. I think it's maybe happened one other time in my career that I've cried over real estate. But I was just upset with myself. I mean, you calmed me down very much so. But I guess, it was me becoming reactive. Like I used to be very reactive, you know what I mean? But I've sort of filtered that back. But I sort of let an agent have it.
Yeah.
Well, because I just don't think that whatever.
Yeah, there's 5 sides to every story, and unfortunately, unless you have a one-on-one sit down with somebody, you don't know their perspective and their side. But again, it could also not be the truth. So.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing that I think I learned from this was, so there was a final walkthrough and on one of my listings, and I, the movers, they were moving and they were, packing and they wanted to get on the road, and I was leaving another appointment. Mary was going to do the final walkthrough, and I was like, no, I'll do it. Like, I'm right up in this area, but it was like really too early. Like, you get there too early and all you are is in the way.
Yeah.
So honestly, I did one quick errand, and like I had to return something at the UPS store, and I was sort of diddle-daddling a little bit just because I was like, I don't want to get there too early.
You would have been an hour early.
I would have been
We
an
were on the
hour.
phone,
Yeah. So, I was on the phone with you, and then I was talking to you, and then I was like, oh my gosh, sometimes when you're driving, it's like that muscle memory, and then
Yeah.
you're like, oh gosh, why am I here? I
Yeah.
should be here. And like, so I did one of those, got myself all turned around. I was on the phone with you, and I was like, how did I get on
Where
this
am
dirt
I?
road? And I
Yeah.
stopped, and someone was
Ask
walking. I
somebody.
go, does this go all the way through? Like, I don't even know how I got here. So yeah, it was definitely one of those moments of whatever. And the unfortunate part about it is that the buyer's agent was 45 minutes early.
Mm-hmm.
So I should have just went.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? And I should have done a better job communicating where I was when I was getting there, but she was supposed to be there at 1, and then I got myself lost. So I got there at like 1:06 or something. But she had been there early. I didn't see a text message from her because I was driving.
Yeah.
So I don't see them. And anyways, what happened was a conversation between my client and the buyer's agent. In all reality, I feel as if she was in the wrong a bit too.
Mm-hmm.
She should have never went into that house without me being there
Mm-hmm.
or Mary being there.
Mm-hmm.
She should have never started having conversations with my seller, because a lot of things were taken out of context.
Mm-hmm.
And like, one of the things that she did say was semi-true, but I owned up to it a long time ago. She had reached out to me. I feel like I'm in like confession right now. Thank you, Father Chris.
Yeah.
But I did fess up to that. Like, I thought that I was on a group. I had always been on a group chat with her, and I went away when Mackenzie came home, remember?
Mm-hmm.
And I saw her text, thought it was part of the group, and I was like, Mary will handle that, right? Because that's just how we work, right? Yin and yang, right? And then she made a comment to my client that I was really difficult to get in touch with.
Mm.
And that really upset me, because it's true, but why did you take me off a group text?
Yeah.
Like, I was responding. I was gone one night.
Yeah.
One night.
Yeah.
And anyways, I just think it got my client upset. I think, and then when I heard it, I got upset because he told me. I laid into her. Then she told me things. It was just a really big mess. So I wanted to do this show on what happens after, like, when. And,
Yeah.
and I think there's interpretation of certain things. So you hinted upon one thing, shelving.
Yeah.
Fixtures.
Fixtures.
If it's attached to the wall,
Mm-hmm.
it is a fixture.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't want it there, buyers, you need to let us know.
Yeah.
Like, don't assume that it will be gone. Sellers, if you're planning on taking them, you need to let us know.
It needs to be excluded.
We call that an exclusion.
Mhm.
Okay. So like my other clients that we were just talking about with multiple offers, I'm taking the hoist and I'm taking a vise because they're attached to, like, one's in the garage and one is in the basement. So I know that those things are going. I made the buyer aware that those are excluded. Shelving is one of those items. It's attached to the wall,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Just like,
Well, we hope.
yeah, just like a kitchen cabinet.
Yeah.
Like, you can't walk away with a kitchen cabinet. You can't walk away with shelving.
Mm-hmm.
So, and again, her interpretation of that is probably different than my interpretation of that. She and I could have had that conversation, yet she decided to have that conversation with my seller and then made a comment
Yeah.
that, well, my buyers will take it down and we'll just charge you for painting and putty and paint,
Yeah.
which you don't say that to a person who's up to their damn eyeballs at that time with movers and
Yeah.
you're going to another state.
Yeah. It's and I said this to you the day of, it's always closing day, yes, it's very exciting, but it's also very stressful. And, especially for somebody who is moving out of state and sort of that unknown of, getting there. But
the urgency to get on the road and your movers are taking longer than anticipated.
Yeah. There's a lot of factors in the day that aren't controlled.
Yeah.
And you don't have control over everything. And that's, I think, frustrating in itself. Especially for somebody who wants it. And, if we had a magic wand, we would totally use it. We promise you that. But unfortunately, sometimes, the movers take a little bit longer. Yeah, sometimes things fall through the crack and you don't realize, this is something that stays. But ask the question, too,
Yeah. And she made a comment to him, too, about furniture, that her clients would have loved to have had the furniture. And then he was like, that would have been easier because I didn't. It was difficult. It is difficult to get rid of the furniture.
It is.
But honestly, like, that was misinterpreted probably by me. But that was the question, by the way, that I missed when I was gone for one day.
Well, also, if they would have liked the opportunity to have the furniture or purchase the furniture, why wasn't the question asked more than once?
Well, and the other thing is these clients, they could literally teach seller 101 classes.
Yeah, they were great.
And he is very, very, very organized and very task oriented and very like, this is next, this is next, this is next. And honestly, there was a lot of furniture in that house I wanted to buy. But when I was talking to him, I was sort of picking up, but probably not the right things that, the kids were taking things and other people were like, I just assumed that because there was one piece of furniture I really wanted, but that went to somebody. Yeah. You know what I mean? I did end up with a beautiful bench, though. I'll have to show you pictures. I sent them a video of it last night, and it looks really cute. But, like, again, that's where I'm taking ownership of where I need to get better. And maybe I should have been like, all right, at what point? And here's the other thing, too. We sell houses, not furniture.
Right.
So for me, it's more important for me to make sure I'm on track with the purchase and sales agreement versus wondering where the couch is going at that very moment.
Yeah.
But I honestly misinterpreted what was going on at that time. I thought that all the furniture was going to the kids and that there was a couple sporadic little pieces that didn't have a home yet.
Yeah, I think, yes, you're following along, making sure the purchase and sales is getting signed and everything is in there and you're making sure that the commitment is met and everything. Also making sure that if a refrigerator is included, that the refrigerator is staying, things like that. It's not necessarily... I think if it had been brought to your attention that this is something that was important to both sides, then certainly I think that it would have been taken care of. Like I said, there's always room for improvement for everybody. And, we just have to learn from situations and bring that knowledge to our next one. So I think moving forward now, maybe being a little bit over what's the word? Not
sensitive?
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm saying, making sure that people are aware. Okay, when you have, curtains that, if there's screws in the wall, they're staying. You can take the curtain off, but the rods stay.
And TV. So the other thing that came up too. And what I'm going to do is, and again, from, and here it is. I'm 24 years in. I train our agents. I'm doing there's a lot of things that I have learned over the years, but there's always room for improvement. And I can't make what's wrong right unless I know what's wrong. You know what I mean? So I'm going to make a guide for my seller clients and my buyer clients that just sort of, indicates exactly what is being done. But I also feel like you're teetering on certain things. Like, okay, the shelves are on the wall. Seller doesn't want the shelves on the wall. They're attached to the wall. They would stay on the wall.
Yeah.
They're attached. It's a fixture. Buyer doesn't want them. Buyer needs to tell us.
Yeah.
We don't want those. We want the seller to take those down. We want him to patch and we want him to paint. That should be a conversation that you're having with your agent. So your agent can discuss it with the seller's agent. Yeah. You know why? Because
the seller can say no.
There's too much assumption going on, right? And then the other big one is with TV brackets.
Yeah.
Okay. This came up here too. So all the TV brackets were left because they are considered a fixture. They
Yeah.
were attached to the wall.
The TV is not. So the TV is personal property. It comes with the person who's leaving.
Because it's attached to the bracket.
It's attached to the bracket. The bracket is attached to the wall.
Yeah.
What is attached to the wall stays. So you have a chandelier in your foyer or in your dining room. If you want that, make sure that it is excluded in your listing so everybody knows, or switch it out before you go on the market.
Oh, do you remember the situation we had several years ago over decorative?
Yes.
Decorative. So that would be something different.
Was it a whale?
It was a whale's tail.
Yeah.
Whale's tail. Like, I don't even know what it does. It was a decoration, and it was attached to the wall with screws. And this was very oceany. It was in Marshfield, oceanside type, vibe.
Yeah.
The buyer just really wanted it.
Yeah.
And the seller was like, it's a decoration. I'm taking my decorations. That ended up being a thing.
Yeah.
You have to be really clear about these things.
Yeah. So the buyer noticed it was attached to the wall, assumed that it was going to stay.
Yeah.
It wasn't excluded in the listing, and the seller was like, "No, this is my personal property. I'm taking it.
And it was
I
a
purchased
gift.
it. Oh, or it was a gift. So that was a lesson learned.
Yeah. You think, and again, shame on me, Sharon, for not being more clear or maybe going through that process with
Yeah.
the other agent, about, hey, what, and again, is that up to me to say to the buyer's agent, what's your expectation and what we're going to do with these shelves that are fixtures on the wall?
Yeah. What are we supposed to do? Go through the room to room and say, what would you like in this room?
Yeah,
Please put
like
in your
it just
offer.
doesn't go like that. I mean, so if it is
Yeah.
attached to the wall, and like you said, with curtains, people will ask me all the time. They'll say, my curtain rods are really expensive.
Yeah.
Can I take those? And I go, here are your options. One, we can exclude them right now, let people know. But as soon as you take the
them
screw
down.
out of
Yeah.
the wall, you have to repair the hole.
Yeah. Some more fixtures just to get on the topic here. So built-in appliances. So a microwave, I would say a microwave over the stove is a
Yeah.
fixture. Yeah. Ceiling fans, light fixtures, bathroom mirrors attached to the wall, built-in shelves, bookshelves, curtain rods, cabinet hardware. Some people take the cabinet hardware. So I know of a situation that with the cabinet hardware, they had antique knobs on all of their cabinet doors, and they wanted to take them with them. So they took them with them, but they weren't excluded. So they had no knobs when the buyer came through.
Just holes in the cabinet?
Just holes in the cabinet. And they were expecting these antique knobs to be there. Mailboxes.
Now, come on.
That's a fixture.
Yeah,
Did you know?
I think it's weird when people just take their toilet paper roll. if there's some, you know what I mean? Never mind.
Please don't take the toilet paper roll when it's an empty house and we're doing an open house.
I know. Like, can you leave us some TP? I mean, if the water, I just think, I don't know. It's just weird to me when you couldn't have left half a roll of toilet paper on there, and you're talking about people taking antique knobs off of their things.
Yeah.
Now that's. Come on.
But getting back to mailboxes, I guess I never really thought of it, but some people have really nice, mailbox. I mean, there's a mailbox around the corner from you that, that is, what is that?
Like a
Yeti?
Sasquatch?
Yeah, what is that?
I have no idea. I don't
that
get
would
it.
be considered a fixture, so that would need to be excluded. Built-in speakers, smart thermostats as well. Ring doorbells and things like that. Those
Yeah.
are considered fixtures. So if you want those, you got to exclude them.
Yeah. And that's the thing is and every time we're sitting with people, we're like, is there anything going to be excluded? And
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And people will say, well, what do you mean? I was like, I don't know. Did you get a chandelier from your grandmother?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or something like that.
There's a section here for gray areas. So we talked about mounted televisions, TV brackets. The brackets stay. The TV is a personal property, so you take that. Security cameras. So I'm thinking about my house. So I do have exterior cameras, and they're mounted. I would think that they would be fixtures and stay. So if I were to put my house on the market, I would exclude them because I'd want to take them with me. They're expensive. EV chargers.
That's interesting because I could understand, like, well, first of all, you can't take it out of the wall, the electrical outlet, but I can see that one as a definite goes with you because every car has a different type of EV charger.
Yeah. I would say that the only way that it would be a fixture is if it has its own electrical panel, because some of them have to have their own electrical panel. So I would say that would be considered a fixture.
Okay.
I don't know if they all do. I'm not really familiar with them, but again, this is gray area. So I would say that this is a question for an attorney. Decorative chandeliers, outdoor play equipment.
Yeah. Sheds. Sometimes people are like, can I take my shed? And I go, I'd like to see it.
Yeah. Can you pick it up?
I mean, no.
If you could pick it up, that means it can be blown in the wind.
Yeah.
We do have a couple people watching us on Facebook.
Hello, everybody.
So Tracy Grady, good morning, ladies from Florida.
Oh, yay.
Hello.
Sunny Florida, like 90 degrees Florida because I'm cold.
Yeah, she has a wedding today.
Oh.
Her and Jim have a wedding. So Tracy, you all know, is a full-time real estate agent here with her.
And more of a host of Talk Real Estate Roundtable than me.
I almost said with her son, Jim. Hopefully she's still watching. With her husband, Jim, they make up the Grady team, and she is watching from Florida. So good morning, ladies. And then Ginny Wandell, also a full-time agent here at Boston Connect Real Estate, says, here's a positive spin, turning red flags into red, white, and blue. It's been a week, and agents still press on. Part of balancing the business of real estate with the emotion.
She really always does have like that. She's like I don't know. She's like my person that just reels me back in. All right, Ginny, I was having a pity party for myself. Just allow me to do that.
Yeah, Ginny, I have to respond to your text message. I'm sorry. But Renee McGee says hi from Oklahoma City.
Hello, Oklahoma.
Hello, Oklahoma City.
Hello. Who was that again? Renee?
Yes, Renee McGee.
Hello, Renee McGee. And I think she might be one of my clubhouse friends. And somebody here is, I can't read that from here.
Yeah, somebody is on YouTube, actually. It says, I moved to Attleboro from Cambridge and find it too far and inconvenient, but it was super affordable.
Yeah. Well, and that's great. I mean, Cambridge, that is very, very expensive. So, and Attleboro is pretty far from Cambridge.
Yeah.
So, but hopefully you're loving Attleboro, and hopefully you're really enjoying that. And you know what? It's super affordable in comparison to Cambridge. So good for you, whoever this person is. We don't have their first name.
We don't have their name.
Yeah, Daily Shake Lifestyle.
Oh, you read it.
Yeah. I can sort of see it. Yeah, I can see it. But that to me is that's a lifestyle change. You know what I mean? So to live a little bit of a simple life because of the hectic and crazy. I want to go the opposite way, by the way, my Daily Shake Lifestyle. We had to go into the city yesterday for Casey. Casey's going to be purchasing something in the city, and the condo that she lives in, and there's something going on with gas lines. So Mark is a plumber, so of course we went in there. We got up early. Friday is the day to travel, my friends, into the city, and as we were leaving, I always feel empty when I'm leaving the city because I love it so much. That's what I would want to do.
Yeah.
I would want to leave. I would love to have a condo in the city.
Yeah. The only time I go into the city is either to Fenway or to the Garden, and I'm like, get me out of here because there's so much traffic.
No, see, and I love the walkability. I just love all of that. Like I said to Casey when we got there yesterday, I was like, hey, is there any coffee places anywhere? I wanted to get something to eat. And she's like, yeah. Which way do you want to walk? And when she comes home, she's like, you got to get in your car. You got to go all the way to Mary Lou's.
Yeah. Well, Ethan says we don't live near anything. We just live in Halifax. He's like, we don't live near anything. It takes you a half hour to get to the highway. I'm like, okay. Because he's just so used to being in Rhode Island, just, zipping away. But yeah, we live in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah. To our WATD listeners and all of our friends out on social media land, you are listening to Talk Real Estate Roundtable. I am Sharon McNamara, the broker owner of Boston Connect Real Estate. I'm here with my sidekick, Melissa Wallace, who is the Director of Operations, Agent Relations. And what is the other title we have for you now? Like the broker liaison or something like that? Helping
Whatever
me
you wanna
with,
say.
yeah, helping me with all my transactions. If you have any comments about this topic that we're on, about like what are fixtures, what stays, accepted offer to the closing, what happens next, feel free to call. Tim is in studio at WATD in Marshfield, 781-837-4900, 781-837-4900. We haven't had a caller in a long time.
Yeah, I know people are listening though.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I was at an open house recently and, Mark went somewhere and they're like, your wife's name's Sharon McNamara. Does she do a radio show on WATD? He goes, sure does.
Sure does.
So, so feel free to give us a call. We'd love to hear from you this morning, whether it's about this topic or any real estate topic. Feel free to give us a buzz. We would love to chat with you this morning.
Faith Birmingham says, good morning, ladies.
Good morning, Faith.
She's a full-time agent here at Boston Connect Real Estate as well. And Karen Monroe. Hi, ladies.
Hi, Karen. Karen's having a little pool party today.
Oh.
So I'm going to try my best to get over there maybe at some point after my
Nice.
open house today.
Yeah, maybe you can stop by after your open house.
Yeah.
Not too far. Getting back to personal property and fixtures, some examples of personal property would be furniture, patio furniture.
Yeah. And, this is what's been happening a lot. And I think it's actually clouding. And maybe it's my own mind. It's like, that's not my gig.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not my... I'm not going to call it an issue.
If I sold televisions, I'd be working at Best Buy.
Yeah. Right.
But I don't. I work at Boston Connect
Yeah,
Real Estate.
or I'd be working at Cardi's Furniture or something like
How
that.
many times do I say to you, I don't work for the town of something, because I've had to talk to somebody and they're just like not very helpful.
I loved your conversation.
Or I don't work at the post office.
Your conversation with one of the towns this past week was like, you're like, she's just mean.
She's just mean for no reason.
Yeah. You're like, I just don't understand.
It's just a simple question, lady. Ma'am.
P.S. You're the one with the answer. Like,
and P.S. You work there. I don't. I'm just asking a question about the place that you work at.
But see, you're starting to get like me though. So now what I say to people is, I'm not questioning you. I'm just asking you a question.
Yeah. Well, the conversation started out lovely. She called me back. Oh, I'm just calling you back. Oh, great. Thank you so much for that. Oh, and by the way, I'm like, this is not a friendly conversation.
Maybe
anyways.
she's bipolar or something.
Yeah, maybe. Televisions, artwork, grills, lawn equipment.
Yeah, see, and
snow blower.
It's one of those things. If you're selling your house, you might say, hey, there's a lot of things that I'm not bringing to my next home.
Yeah.
Are these things that the buyers may be interested in? Hey, if you want to leave things behind, I'll ask. If you want to sell them, I'm not coming up with prices. Give me a full list of everything you're selling, and I will pass it. That's what I'm going to do from now on. All right, you want to sell all of this furniture? You want to sell your patio furniture, your grill, your little swing that you have in your yard, whatever it is that you want to sell, you give me one list.
Yeah.
And then with the prices, and we are happy to pass it on to the buyers.
Yeah.
But we don't put it in the purchase and sales agreement. We don't, I'm happy to accommodate this relationship and bring it together, but I have to worry about the purchase and sales agreement getting signed, people.
I'm not in a state sales person.
Yeah.
What are they called?
Yeah, state salesperson is what they're called.
Well, there you go. Anything else? So yeah, again, personal property, you can ask for it. You can ask, as a buyer, you can ask for it. You can ask to purchase things. If you're on my list, I have riding lawnmower, portable generators, things like that. If you're moving into maybe a 55 plus community from, this beautiful colonial, you might not have to take care of your snow removal. You might not have to take care of your lawn. So you don't need those things. So why not try to make some money off of it or, gift it to somebody?
Yeah. And as the seller, I think one of the things, because this just happened to me with one of my other buyer clients, they're going to be buying, we found actually the perfect home for them. So I'm super excited for them down in Plymouth. And I know the seller of this property is just moving with family, and he has a really nice, driving. What is it? Driving lawnmower?
Ride on.
Yeah, ride on.
Ride on.
I guess all of them are driving.
You drive it across the lawn. That's okay to drive across the lawn, not your car.
Not your car, certainly. So it was a ride-on lawnmower, and why is that so difficult for me to say?
Yeah, I know, you're like, ride-on lawnmower. He was on a ride-on lawnmower.
I started watching the McPhees again, or whatever their name is, the show.
Oh, I don't watch that.
Yeah, I don't particularly like one of the sons.
Oh,
Steven. I don't like him.
Okay, there we go. I don't know what you're talking about.
I
don't watch that show.
He's sort of cocky. Oh, I love reality TV, and I've realized why.
Oh, yeah. Why?
Makes me feel normal.
Yeah, because you're like, I don't do that.
Yeah.
That's not my life.
Yeah. People really live like that. I don't know.
Oh, my gosh.
But anyways, my point of that was my client asked me, can you ask him if he's going to be selling his lawnmower? Because I would like to purchase it, because he doesn't have one where he is. And I was like, happy to do so. Sent a message to the buyer's agent. And again, here's the funny thing about everything that happened to me this week. I'm happy to do it. If you ask me a question, I'm happy to respond. I respond quickly. I went through all my text messages, and I was like, anytime anybody asked me a question, I responded, except for one little time. And I was away overnight, and I thought that Mary took care of it. Whatever. Not her fault, by the way. It was my fault, because it wasn't on the group text. I keep on digressing back to that moment. But I did reach out to the buyer's agent, the seller's agent, who is great to work with. And I was like, hey, my client is interested in purchasing the lawnmower if he is selling it. Because a lot of times people are giving things away to the other family members. And the response the next day was, he sold it in the yard sale yesterday or something. But then when we were there, he said he sold it to his someone over on the vineyard or something, his cousin or something. But, always if you have those things, I think it makes sense as a seller to say, let me see if the buyer wants anything first.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
Unless it's your kids, and your kids need the lawnmower. So, you know what I mean? I guess I would give stuff to my family and friends before the buyer that I don't know.
Melissa Clemens, full-time real estate agent here at Boston Connect Real Estate. She's actually going to be covering an open house for the Grady team on 7 Elm Place today. And she said, she's watching us, and she said...
Which is a great neighborhood. I sold the house next door.
Yeah.
Brand new construction.
Yeah, Melissa, if you have any questions about being a buyer's agent over there, ask Sharon.
Yeah, Jay Kennedy is the builder, Kennedy Builders. And they do a really nice job, especially with their finish work. So go see them.
She says, when I bought my house, my dad was insisting to the agent that the seller leave all the cute lawn ornaments and whatnot. It was so embarrassing. I was focused on my first home. He just wanted me to get everything and anything just to make the dad deals, LOL.
That's funny.
He just wanted everything.
My question to Melissa Clemens right now is, did you want the lawn ornaments?
Well, she put a laughing, crying face, so probably not.
Probably not. Thanks for your support, Dad. If you wouldn't mind.
Lawn ornaments.
Hey, Dad, would you mind just writing me a check rather than fighting for these lawn ornaments? Yeah, but then that's the other thing, too. You get other people involved, and people get hyper-focused on the things that aren't necessarily that important. Now, as a real estate agent, Melissa sees what is important and what isn't. And for the most part, people don't want the lawn ornaments to go with the lawn mower.
I will say, I during my final walkthrough of my house, we spent the majority of the time in the house, in the kitchen, having a mimosa.
Yeah. Yeah.
And not walking around the outside of my house. And there were a lot of things that were left, lawn ornaments and such and things. But, every once in a while, I think I got rid of most of them. And then every once in a while, I'll find another one.
Oh,
just
really?
somewhere in my backyard.
It's almost like an Easter egg hunt.
Yeah, I know. There was one that I did leave next to the shed because I think it's very cute. But
and the owner of your property recently recently passed away.
She
so,
did
yeah,
recently
was
pass
lovely.
away. But she, her friend who
Yeah.
called and let me know that she had passed away, and then she said, she was so grateful that that you were the one who ultimately purchased her house because she knew that you would take care of it like she did. So,
Yeah.
so that made me feel good. And then I let her know that we're actually we're getting married and we're gonna do our first look in the backyard because it means so much to me. So, and she just thought that was like
That
the
gave me
greatest thing ever.
goosebumps. Yeah.
Yeah.
And her family was wonderful. When you told me that she had passed, I reached out to her daughter and said, gave my condolences. But and then that's the other thing too is like when you have somebody who's lived in that home for 60 years and those lawn ornaments, they can't bring them because certainly I know she was moving in with one of her daughters, and I'm sure the daughter's like, "You're not bringing all
You're
that.
not bringing
stuff.
that here.
You're not bringing that stuff here." But she probably thought that it would be meaningful to you. So.
Yeah. And you know what? One of them is, so the one that I left, and I'm digressing for a second. One of them left is, it's these two like frogs, and it's like this little, like, I don't know, lawn ornament thing, statue, these two frogs, and one of them is playing the violin.
Oh yeah.
So when my father was younger, he started taking violin lessons, and it's this big joke because he never went to the lessons, but he never told my grandparents.
Oh.
And they kept paying, and they wanted to go to his recital, and he had to fess up that he hadn't gone.
Oh my goodness.
So there's been this running joke in my whole family of, we, need to and my Nana still had his violin that he never used ever. We still have it somewhere. Yeah. So it was funny. So when I saw it, I was like, oh, that's my dad.
Yeah.
So
little signs.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the other things too that I think it's really important here is, as a seller, you definitely want to leave appliances in the manuals, extra keys, garage remotes, paint labeled by room.
Mm-hmm.
Be careful on that as well, though, because if you painted your house 25 years ago, chances are they don't want that same color paint. Paint is definitely one of those things where the seller should be asking the buyer, do you want these left over, do you want this paint for touch up? The other thing is, look for hazardous days. Every town has them. A lot of times, like your abutting towns will allow you to go there as well, and you just have to, get something from your own town to get rid of that stuff. And just don't assume that people want that.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, when they do the final walkthrough, they'll be like, nope, I don't want it. You have to get it out of here. So then you're sort of rushing all over the place to get rid of it. A lot of times people will leave behind like extra shingles to the roof, good idea, but still let's ask. Or extra siding on the exterior of the house. Great idea, but let's ask. Right?
Yeah.
Because it
Always
isn't
ask.
it isn't attached to anything at that moment. It's extra. Like extra tiles. Like I've fallen into that one a lot where there's like a pile of extra tiles. I have some at my own house. And it's just don't assume that the buyer is going to want those things.
Yeah.
So that will be on my checklist.
And it's okay to say no.
Yeah.
I remember when I was buying my house, there was a couch that they had asked, like if I wanted it, if it could stay. And at first I was going to say, oh yeah, whatever, keep leave whatever you want. And then I was like, no, I don't want the couch. So why am I? No, I'm like, I had to put my buyer's agent hat on and say, no, thank you. Please remove.
Yeah. Because then you end up being the one that,
Then
look,
you're
it's on there too.
yeah.
Leftover flooring. Landscaping. Oh, and that's the other thing too, is like having all of your, the mechanicals of like the last time that it was maintained and things like that. And having, what's really nice to leave your buyers, if you're a seller, is a full list of what who you used for what. This is who was my landscaper. This is who this person was. All of that type of stuff. Now, one of the things, that my client that I was talking about earlier, and I said he could give classes like, bestseller 101 classes. He had like a full list with the links to like the Ring doorbell and the Simply Safe and all that other stuff. Because when you do purchase, you then the previous owner has to disconnect that
Yeah.
so you can connect it. I felt like I just saw something scroll, so I don't know if someone left you a message.
Oh, maybe.
No.
Oh, somebody else. Renee has commented again and said, how about those times where there is a huge piece of furniture that was built in the room and can't fit through the doorway?
Yeah.
Guess you got to take it apart.
Well, Renee, good for you if you had one of those. I wonder how you handled it because, well, if you have a big piece of furniture and it's in a room because it was built in that room, if the buyer doesn't want it, the seller has to take a Sawzall to it
Yeah.
and get it out of the room somehow without damaging the walls.
Or the floors.
Or the floors.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, or the ceilings, because it sounds like it's a big piece of furniture, so you can't put it upright. Yeah. So that's what I would say with that one. I would just say, if the buyer does not want it, the seller is responsible to get it out.
Yeah. Period.
But if it's a bench that's attached to the wall, what are we calling that?
That's a fixture.
That's a fixture. I can't take it
If
off the
it's
wall with
to the wall.
Yeah.
It's a stay.
I can't move the bench. Like I'm thinking of those little kitchen dinette things, breakfast nooks. If you can't pull it off the wall without taking the sheetrock, guess what? It's staying.
That's interesting because those little breakfast nooks, a lot of the time the bench part is attached to the wall, but the table isn't. The chairs that are on the other side isn't. So now you just got a bench.
All you got is a bench.
You got to find some furniture. So that would probably be an item that as a buyer I would ask for.
Yeah. And again, I can understand, and this is where my frustration is, not frustration, but like where my upset with myself is because I am so hyper-focused on what is going on in the transaction, like crossing T's, dotting I's, waiting, things that our clients don't see that we're doing, like, okay, is the commitment letter due? Is all this? And you know what we're always doing? We're always pivoting in this business too. I got a call yesterday from an appraiser and they're like, oh, I have a rush on this property to do an appraisal. And I was like, that appraisal was done June 1st and we close on Tuesday.
Yeah.
So that
Crazy.
was jumping through hurdles all day.
Yeah.
What are you laughing at?
I'm just laughing. My mom has sent me like 8 text messages throughout the whole show.
Oh, yeah.
I need a lawn chair. And then in quotes, I'm not an estate salesperson with a crying, laughing face. Then she said, get rid of your people.
Yeah.
S word,
Yeah.
people.
Mm-hmm.
And then she said, haha, daddy was such a good violin player. We just heard the doorbell. So really just last minute. Can you say where you're going to be today?
Yeah. So I'm going to be doing an open house today. I am going to be over at Cochesset Estates, said by some, Cochesset Estates, said by others, which is over in West Bridgewater. And it's off of Scotland Street in West Bridgewater. And I'll be there from 10 to 1.
Yeah.
10, 11, 12, 1. Yep. I'll be there from 10 to 1 today. It's new construction. We opened phase 3 most recently. I believe we have an accepted offer on the single family already.
Yes.
I don't know. Was that changed? Do we have, is that all set? Okay.
Yeah.
So all we have left are our duplexes and we have a few different models. We're in the Meadowview right now, which is my favorite of all the ones we've built down there. So I'm excited to be down there today. So come see me. Again, it's Cochesset Estates. You can put in Metacomet Road and you will get there today. And if you want to see all of our other open houses,
follow us on social media. We have a lot going on this weekend. So Boston Connect Real Estate on Facebook and on Instagram, or you can go to bostonconnect.com.
Awesome. And go visit all of us. I know you said Melissa Clemens.
Yeah, Melissa Clemens is going to be at 7 Elm Place in Hanson. It's new construction. It's beautiful.
Yeah,
She's
it
going
is
to be
beautiful.
there 10 to 12, I think.
Okay, perfect. All right. Well, if you have any questions or if you would like some information on your house or your next chapter and your next move, feel free to give me a call. I am a full-time real estate agent, 781-294-4848. And we will see you next week. Perhaps. Oh, no. Nope. Repeat next week. Happy 4th of July, everybody.
4th of July.
Happy birthday, America 250.
Woo!
Bye, Tim.
Bye.
So let's make the most